Hey, this is Brilith with Nox Game Studios, and today we're going to continue our series on implementing multiplayer in Unity using Photon and PlayFab. In this video, we're going to add Photon Chat to our game so we can set up our party invite system. We will use Photon Chat to send invites between players connected to the Photon server. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can stay up to date with the series. Now let's head over to photonengine.com and set up an app. All right, now that we're at photonengine.com, let's go sign in. And either you can create an account or sign in with an account that you've already made. So let's go create an app. On the Photon type, let's do the drop down and select Photon Chat. For the name, this can be anything you want, but I'm just going to do Nox Studios Chat Tutorial. And for the description, that's optional as well as for the URL. So let's hit create. And this is the app ID that you're going to want to copy and use later on when we're doing our setup. Let's go ahead and copy that now. Now that we copied the app ID, let's head over to Unity where we'll add this to the Photon server settings. Now that we're in Unity, let's go to Window, Photon Unity Networking, highlight server settings. And for the app ID chat, let's paste in what we copied earlier. Now that we've done that, we've set up all we need to do for our Photon server settings. In the hierarchy on our menu, let's go to Network Controller, Photon, and right-click on Photon, and create empty, and do Chat. Now let's navigate to where our code is, and under Photon, let's create a new C# script, and call this Photon Chat Controller. Now let's attach the Photon Chat Controller to our game object and open that up. Now that we have that open up, I'm just going to remove some of these using statements and these boilerplate comments, make these explicitly private. Now let's start with our using statements. Let's do using photon.chat, and also we will use using photon.pun. Using photon.chat will allow us to implement an interface called IChatListener, and we need this so we can actually set up our chat system. Let's do serialized field, private. This is very similar to what we did with the Photon connection. Call this nickname. We'll do an awake, and in the awake for this, we'll do nickname equals playerprefs.getString username. Now let's declare a private chat client, and that's the Photon chat client. And this will call this chat client. In the start method, we will do chat client equals new chat client. And what we need to do is pass it in a IChatListener, and that's why we needed to have this class implement the IChatListener. So we'll just pass it in this. Once it does that, let's connect. So we'll do connect to Photon Chat. And this is a private method we have not created yet. So let's go down here, do private void connect to Photon Chat. In here, we're going to do a debug.log, say connecting to Photon Chat. Now let's do chat client.auth values equals new photon.chat.auth values. The reason why we have to explicitly say photon.chat is because pun also has a auth values. And we're just going to pass it in nickname. Now let's go down and we're going to declare a new class called chat app settings variable. And we'll just call this chat settings. And this will be equal to the Photon network dot Photon server settings dot app settings dot get chat settings. So that will use that scriptable object that we've set up and all of the fields necessary to set up a chat app. And now let's do chat client dot connect using settings, and let's pass it in the chat settings. Do a semicolon up here, so that's good. You can see we still have squiggly marks here, and that's because we have not implemented this interface yet. So let's control and implement interface. You can see this implemented a lot of on callbacks here. We don't need all of these. The ones that we're going to use primarily will be on private message, and we'll also use maybe this on chat status change, and then on connected and on disconnected. So we'll say debug.log, you have connected to the Photon chat. And let's just copy this debug log, and you have disconnected from. Okay, just so we know. And I'm going to go through and just remove all of these other throw statements so we don't get issues. But we will start implementing these. One key thing we need to do is go to our update statement, and we need to do ChatClient.service. This needs to be in the update statement, so our chat client constantly is receiving messages and staying connected. So let's go down to where our private message is, and let's actually work on this. So on private message will be what the callback that's called when somebody sends another player a private message. Let's do if string.isNull. So we're just going to check to see if the message is not null. Then we will actually do stuff with it. So messages are sent. This channel name here is set up like this. So it'll be channel name, and the format will be the sender and then the recipient. And just to let you know, if a private message is sent, this callback will be triggered on the sender as well as the person receiving the message. So we need to have a if statement here where we actually verify that this is the receiver. And to do that, we're just going to do a string array, and we're going to split the channel name on the colon. So this will be a 2-element array, and the first index 0 will be the sender, and index 1 will be the recipient. So we're going to do string sender name is equal to split names 0. Now let's do an if statement. If the sender, which is this variable here that's passed in, and this is the person who actually sent the message, dot equals the sender name. And we'll do a string comparison dot, and we'll ignore case. And instead of doing system dot, I'm just gonna do a using system. We're gonna do a debug log dot log just for now. Sender, and we'll just display that message. And now that we have the code to actually print out a message, let's write the code that we'll use to send a message. So I'm going to go up here, and just so we can stay sane, I'm going to make some regions. We'll do a region for our private methods and a region for our public methods, and then we'll be done. We can go ahead and move this private. Now let's create a public method that we can use to send a private message. Go to our public methods region and do public void send direct message. I'll do string recipient and string message. Magical auto completes here. Okay, we'll do chat client dot send private message, and we'll do the first is the target, that will be the recipient, and comma, and then the second parameter we need to pass in is the message. So we'll pass in our message variable. And what we can do with this method is send a direct message or maybe a party invite or something that you want to send specifically between two players. So to test this out, let's go to onConnected. We're just going to do send direct message. We're going to send a message to Brilith, and the message is going to be, hi, Brill. Now let's save that, and let's switch back over to Unity. Now that we're back in Unity, I went to the login screen, and let's play. Let's sign in as Knox and do login. It'll switch us to our main menu. Let's go to console. You can see here we're connecting to Photon Chat. We've connected to Photon Chat. Now this is our debug log statement that we added. The sender is Knox, the receiver is Brilith, and the message is hi Brilith. So that will wrap us up with getting Photon Chat added to our project. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, please join our Discord if you have any questions or requests for additional videos. There will be an invite link to the Discord below, along with some additional resources. I'll be putting out the next video shortly on how to implement a party invite system using what we implemented today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.